Welcome to Heathcote School Music Department. At Heathcote School we have myself, Mr. Argarakis, in charge of the music department, Miss Argarakis, who is next door, who is my sister, who is also an assistant head here at the school, and Mr. Robinson, who is one of the music technicians at the school, who also teaches music and is in charge of music technology. Music technology is a massive part of music in today's society. Technology generally plays a massive part, and we believe that offering that opportunity all the way from year 7 up to year 13, if you'd like to use the Apple Macs to make tunes and beats on GarageBand or Logic, provides a fantastic opportunity for you guys to get involved with music. In the classroom setting, however, we like to learn more of the traditions that can put you into a better position to create your own music. We start off with an introduction to music. We use booklets for each topic so that you can understand and develop your understanding of key terms throughout the topic, and you will learn to read basic notation by each week developing an understanding of where the notes go on the stave. There are also key terms such as pitch, tempo and dynamics that will be useful for all of the topics when doing listening tests. Every single time we have a music lesson, we'll do a listening test at the beginning of the lesson that will then feed into a practical activity. Most of these will be on the keyboards which are around the rooms. The second topic we'll be looking at is a group performance piece, and it will be looking at the music of West Africa, or traditional West Africa. Here's an example of a djembe, which has traditionally made with animal skin on top. This, however, isn't, because it's made in this country, and wood. Now, you can play this in 3 ways, using the tips of your fingers, palm of your hand, or both as well, and that creates a different tone. When you're doing your performances, you'll be working in groups, and that's what we call ensemble performance. So one of the things you could practice over the summer holidays would be actually performing with your friends or your relatives and trying to perform songs or pieces of music together. The third topic we'll be looking at is instruments of the orchestra. Now here's an example of a brass instrument. There are 4 families. We have brass, woodwind, strings and percussion. We've looked at a percussion instrument just now with the djembe. What makes a brass instrument? It's the mouthpiece made of metal, the brass mouthpiece, and when you play through it, the air travels all the way through the instrument, through all the piping, and comes out the other end. It might sound something like this. Mostly they are at the back of the orchestra because of the loud nature of the instrument, as well as the percussion section. We also have the strings family. Here's a violin. It can be played 2 ways. It can be played with a bow, or it can be played plucked. We call this pizzicato. And the higher up the board you get towards the fret, the higher the sound will be. Okay, and same thing with the strings and the bow. So the pitch will change dependent on where you move up. The fourth topic that we'll be looking at is composition. Now most of the time when we're composing, we use keyboards such as these, and when you are composing, we'll try and make sure that you have an understanding of rhythm and melody and pitch. Often we'll start off with something simple using the white notes of the keyboard from C to C. You may then decide that you want to use some of the notes and change the rhythm of those. Here's an example of one. You might want to then add on another. Okay, that was just 2 I just improvised there. But then when you become more confident, if you have a keyboard at home, feel free to practice trying to create some of your own ostinatos, which are short melodies, and maybe try practicing them with 2 hands and exploring the different sounds that you have available to you. When composing, you have the sounds of the orchestra. You also have modern sounds such as synthesizers, which are electronic sounds, a lot of the ones you'll hear on the radio today, and you can combine these to make your own music. We then have a theory unit for our 5th unit, which will be discovering more about the music you would listen to. So for example, when we're studying film music in Year 8, it's important to know which instruments might change a mood of a piece of music. For example, a harp might make something sound mysterious, or a trumpet might make something sound triumphant. It's important to understand that, so when you're doing that, there'll be a listening test for that challenge week. So for Year 7, that will be in the third challenge week, which will be towards the end of the year once you've built up some of your key skills and vocabulary. The last topic that we'll look at is popular music. You heard me play a piece of popular music at the beginning. That was from the 1980s, but popular music isn't just what's on the radio now. It's actually been from the 1950s onwards when rock and roll started to become popular. And ever since then, it's then developed and changed into new things as new music has fused together. For example, the music on the radio today is generally a combination of dance music, like house music or drum and bass, and it's a combination of hip-hop and R&B, depending on the genre. It might be that some music you listen to, other people in your year group won't listen to as well. So everybody will have a different type of popular music, which is why, at the end of the year, I want to give a bit of choice as to what pieces of music. So throughout the year, if you have any requests that you'd like to study at the end of the year, I'll be more than happy to take those for you. I hope you have a fantastic summer, and I hope Heathcote is your school of choice, especially if you love music.